friends, I'm Addie and you are now watching Books and Tea Time. Today's video is going to consist of 3 parts. First, I am going to be showing off some books that I am unhauling. Then we are going to go do a book shopping vlog, but a very mini baby book shopping vlog. I'm usually not very good at getting film when I'm book shopping because I'm very self-conscious about people seeing me film, but I'm gonna try for you all today and we'll see how that goes. And then the third part of this video is I'm going to haul the new books that I'm getting for you on camera. So I have about 13 books here that I'm gonna unhaul today, and I'm gonna be visiting 2 bookstores. The first one I'm gonna sell all these books to and get store credit because I usually take most of the books that I'm reselling to them anyway, and they give a really decent amount in store credit. So I am very excited to do that, and then I'm going to peruse their used book collection and see what I can find from them. And then right down the street is another bookstore that's more like new books. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're just going to make a day of it. So first things first, we're going to quickly unhaul this stack of books right here. And I have a couple different reasons for unhauling each of these books. I only have so much room, and I'm trying to get better about unhauling books that I didn't like, that I'm not gonna read, and that I have no real interest in reading anymore, or books that are just taking up a lot of room on my shelves that I don't think really need to be on my shelves. Because I have so many books. I know this doesn't look like a lot, but this isn't even putting a dent in it, and this is 5 shelves. I have books downstairs, I have books behind me, behind where you guys are. So many. It's getting out of control, okay? My room is being taken over by stacks of books. So getting rid of these 13 is just, it's not much, but I have to do something because I cannot buy more books unless I get rid of a couple. So that's what we're gonna do today. First things first, I want to get this one out of the way and address it. So I was talking with my coworkers, and I did not realize this, but I just found out that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is a TERF, a trans exclusionary radical feminist, and that is just not something that I want to support by having her book in my collection. I did already read it and annotate it, but I don't want to hold on to it. But I am not going to be giving this to the bookstore because I don't want to give this to somebody else and then have them not realize. So what I'm gonna do, I've done this before actually, is I am going to write a note in the front of the book explaining how I found out, explaining very briefly what a TERF is and why it is not cool, and maybe putting a couple bullet points, information, other books that are by trans authors, by non-binary authors, something like that, so that anybody who gets this book in the future will know what I know about it, if that makes sense. And then I'm gonna put it in a little library in my community. Making the book do work for people that it is trying to exclude also to me feels some form of very small justice, if that makes sense. That's my plan. Is it the best way to go about this? Maybe not. Should I set it on fire? Probably. Let me know your thoughts on what you think is the best way to handle a TERFy book. But the rest of these are going to be resold. So let's jump into those really quickly. First, we have Girls with Paper and Fire by Natasha and Gon. I actually did like this book, and I do plan on continuing the series. This is the first book in a YA fantasy, and I did like it, but I think, sorry, there's a hair on it. I do think I'm going to continue with the series via audio, so I don't really need to hold on to the physical copy anymore, especially because I don't really plan on rereading the first book. But there's a note from the author in here, and it's signed, so I would love for another person who doesn't have a signed copy but might really love this book to get it, you know what I mean? Then we have A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I flippin' hated this book. It was trash. I have a rant review of it, I think, in my fall wrap-up. I don't know. It was trash. I hated it. I hated every second of it. So we are going to be getting rid of it because I don't want it anymore. And I honestly should burn it because I don't want anyone else to have to read it. But, I can see a lot of people like this book. So I'm going to pass it on because I do think there are a lot of people who like it, but I am not one of them. So Another book that I wasn't crazy about, Some Kind of Fairy Tale by Graham Joyce. I read this and I just didn't really like it. I don't know. Again, I'll have my wrap up where I talked about this book linked if you want to hear more about my specific thoughts, but I just didn't like it and I don't want to hold on to it. Next up, we have 4 books that I haven't read. I don't even remember where I got these, how I got these. I only remember buying 2 of these. I don't know how I have them anymore, but they are YA books that, like, I might read, but if I do read, I'm either gonna read the ebook or just borrow a physical copy from the library. I don't need them in my collection. I'm not gonna be reaching for them anytime soon, so I don't, like, I'm not necessarily taking them off of my TBR, but I don't know. We'll see. The first one is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This is kind of like a fairy tale retelling kind of thing, and I really liked the cover. So I honestly think I got swindled by the cover. So My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is the first book in like the Plain Jane retellings. And I thought this one was the one about Jane Eyre, but the second one is the one about Jane Eyre. And I don't even like Jane Eyre anyway. I don't know why I bought this book. Honestly, I do know why, and it's because I've read Fallen Isles trilogy by Jody Meadows and I liked that. But I don't even really want to read this book. I'm sorry, I don't. And someone else might. So we're going to give them this really nice floppy paperback that's in great condition, you know? Then we have Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lana Popovic. I might read it in the future, but I'm not going to be reaching for it in the next 6 months. And then this one I honestly am unhauling because Jessie hates this book, and I trust Jessie, I really do, and that is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maharin. Again, a really, really popular book, but I trust Jessie's judgment when it comes to this, and I'm just not going to be picking it up in the near future. And if in the future someone convinces me to read it, I don't need a physical copy. So it's going. Another book that I absolutely hated that I don't want to own anymore, At Bertram's Hotel by Agatha Christie. Did not like it. I was very, very disappointed by it. I have a whole rant review. It was in my worst books of 2020 video, and I don't even know how it wasn't already unhauled. It's kind of beat up, but I mean, some Agatha Christie mystery lover might want it. Then I have The City of Ember. I didn't even know that I still owned this. I read this when I was in like 3rd grade, and I honestly, like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I don't know why I still have it. It's taken up space. It's gotta go. Then I have The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Again, a book that I read when I was in like 7th grade that I liked, but like, I didn't love it. It's not like my favorite classic ever. It's good. I don't dislike it, but you know, someone else might want a copy of it. It's a pretty good copy in decent condition. It hasn't even been annotated, and I just don't want it. Similar story, The House on Mango Street. I almost unhauled this last time I did an unhaul, and I decided not to. But because I have really fallen in love with my e-reader, I feel like this would be a great one to just borrow from the library and read via ebook if I want to read it in the future because it's so short. So I don't need to hold on to a physical copy, so I'm not going to. And then last but not least, so we were recently weeding our fantasy and sci-fi sections at the library that I work at, and I took a couple books home because they were going to be like gifted to the trash, let's say. And so I decided to take this one home with me. I'm not gonna read it, let's be honest. I'm just not going to. This Manta's Gift by Timothy Zahn. I don't even know what this is about. All I know is that the cover looked kind of cool, and I was like, what are these flying fish creatures? But then, like, I read the first sentence and I was just like, those are the books that I'm getting rid of. I feel like getting rid of 13 books, like, there's no way I'm gonna buy 13 books today. There's a very small chance that I'm gonna buy 13 books today. So I feel like no matter what, I'm getting rid of more books than I'm bringing back. Let's do it. Welcome to the video. I hope that I get a decent amount of B-roll clip of the shopping portion of this video. Talk to you in a little bit. Peace out. We made a brief detour for coffee from my favorite coffee place for my favorite latte ever to exist. It is a lavender vanilla latte with coconut milk. Fire. Oh yeah. Okay, we're here in the parking lot. We have to walk around the block and there's someone in the car next to me, so I'm being awkward and using this gross angle and talking with my mask on so they can't see me. All right, let's do this. Hello, my sweet, lovely angels. It is 2 hours later. Yes, you heard me right. I went to 2 bookstores and it took me 2 hours and I just got bubble tea. I have like no idea what this actually is, but let's try it. Oh my God. What the flip? Iced mango green tea with milk foam and mango, peach, and strawberry boba in it. It tastes like a creamsicle, but with like peach and strawberry boba. I'm gonna stop drinking this and drive home. We're back. I have this big, beautiful bag of new books to share with you. I hit the absolute jackpot today. So, as promised, I only bought 6 books. I did not buy 13. So, I have made room on my shelves. I literally can't tell you how excited I am for this haul. So let's start with the 2 books that I got at the first bookstore that I went to, which is Amazing Books and Records. They are a really awesome bookstore, but they always buy my books from me, and I only got $10 in-store credit for 13 books, and half of them were hardbacks, so it's not great. I'm kind of just wondering if they've had to adjust how much they can give people based on like COVID and pandemic pricing and things like that. Everything is more expensive nowadays. So first and foremost, the book that I got for $2 was Love Medicine by Louise Erdrich. So I have The Sentence by Louise Erdrich downstairs. That's her most recent book, and this one I've heard really good things about. I want to do a Louise Erdrich reading vlog, so I wanted to grab another of her titles to read for that video, so we'll probably do those 2. I don't know when that'll happen, probably in the spring, early summer, but it says that this is the stunning first novel in Erdrich's Native American series Love Medicine, telling the story of 2 families. It's a multi-generational portrait of strong men and women caught in an unforgettable drama of anger, desire, and the healing power that is love medicine. So stay tuned for me reading this in the near future, within the next like 6 months or so. Then I literally cannot believe that I found this. Like, let me tell you, since the last time I went there, they have really like gotten so many good books into their collection. Like, their selection is amazing, and not that it was bad last time I went, but I just feel like they've gotten a lot more books since I last was there. I got this. I think this is an ARC copy, if I'm not mistaken. It says that this is a free uncorrected proof and that it is not for sale. So I think this is an ARC copy, which makes this even more rare and exciting. But anyway, I got Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko. Oh my god, I know that Jessie loves this book. I'm pretty sure Starla read this and loved it. This is just like such a popular, beloved fantasy. I think it's a YA, or maybe it's like a new adult kind of a fantasy. Tari Sai has always longed for the warmth of a family. She was raised in isolation by a mysterious, often absent mother known only as the Lady. When she comes of age, the Lady sends her to the capital of the global empire of Aristar to compete with other children to be chosen as one of the Crown Prince's Council of 11. But if she's picked, she'll be joined by the other council members through the Ray, a bond deeper than blood. What if you've sworn to protect the one you were born to destroy? Is the tagline. I'm so excited. I can't believe I found this gorgeous ARC paperback. I'm like, I'm so excited. And then right down the street from the amazing books and records that I go to is another bookstore. I think it's called Riverstone Books. It's definitely newer to me, and I also think newer to the area, but they have the most impeccable selection of books. They have a lot of like newer releases, and they're more of like a indie bookstore in that regard, but they do have a lot of like very popular titles too. But they have a section where all of the staff do their like staff picks, and they have handwritten notes about all the books, and they have a new releases section, and they have a bunch of other areas, and they always have every single book that I've ever heard about talked on BookTube, on Bookstagram. They have the best selection of books, like books that I haven't even found at Barnes & Noble. This is gonna be like one of my mainstay bookstores now. So I got four books here. I have actually already read this book that I'm about to show you, but I adored it, and I read a copy from the library, and I really wanted my own copy to own, and it's the paperback, and that is Lore Olympus Volume 1. So Volume 2 comes out later this year. I read this, I think in February, maybe in January, and I loved it. It's a Hades and Persephone graphic novel retelling. I saw it and I almost didn't buy it, but I wanted my own copy so bad, and I'm so happy that I have it. I'm gonna display it. Oh, can I get away with displaying it outward facing, like right here? I got that, but the other three I have not read yet, I promise. Next up, I got Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And this is a non-fiction book that I've had my eye on for a very long time, but I love to own my own copies of nonfiction so that I can annotate them and like highlight and tab and all that good jazz. So I've been thinking about taking the copy home from the library, but I kept talking myself out of it because I really wanted my own copy, and then I saw it on the shelves at the bookstore, and it's just like, it feels so like smooth, and like the texture of this cover is amazing, and it just looks awesome. And so the author is a botanist. She embraces the notion that plants and animals are our oldest teachers. In Braiding Sweetgrass, Kimmerer brings these lenses of knowledge together to show that awakening a wider ecological consciousness requires the acknowledgement and celebration of our reciprocal relationship with the rest of the living world. For only when we can hear the languages of other beings are we capable of understanding the generosity of the earth and learning to give our own gifts in return. This is right up my alley for so many reasons, because a lot of what Kimmerer is writing about, I actually wrote about in terms of like the representation of ecological consciousness in fiction for my thesis, and also just because like it's absolutely, the description sings to me, the title sings to me, this book, just feeling it in my hands, just I can tell that I'm gonna love it so I'm so happy that I found a copy of this, and I'm hoping to read it this spring as my nonfiction pick after I finish some of my current nonfictions that I'm reading. I just can't wait. After that, I picked up Papisho. This book was put on my radar by my best friend Marissa because she is reading it for a class that she's taking for her master's program right now, and she just finished it and said that it was absolutely incredible. I mean, look at how floppy this paperback is. Sorry, I'm so distracted by how, like... Anyway, so my best friend recommended it, and then I saw it in the store. It was outward facing on the shelf, and I just was immediately drawn to it. I said, oh my god, I know that title. I just added it to my Goodreads because of Marissa, and so I had to grab myself a copy. So what is this about? Everyone in Papisho was born with a little something something boy, a little something extra. The local name was Coors, magic, but more than magic. A gift, nah? Yes. From the gods, a thing so inexpressibly your own. I mean, the cover is stunning, the back sounds so interesting, and I trust everything Marissa tells me is good is gonna be good, so definitely gonna read this in the near future. Can't wait to dive in and see what this is about. Last, but absolutely not least, I picked up How Beautiful We Were by Mbolo Mbwe. How beautiful is this cover is what we really need to talk about. I love the hardback cover of this book. It's very like minimalist, but also striking. And I've always loved that cover, and that's the cover I've always seen. But this, I believe, this like paperback cover was just released, and it's absolutely captivating. I want to pick this up like right now, to be honest. Like it's definitely on my radar for March, if not early April. But this is a book that Jesse has been raving about from the rooftops. They've been talking about this book for so long. It was, I believe, in their best of 2021 video, if I'm not mistaken, and I need to read it. I cannot waste any more time not reading this book so that I can know what the hype is about. It's real. I believe that the hype is real, but I need to be in on it. You know what I'm saying? So this is a story about a fictional village in Africa called Kasawa, and it is about an American oil company that comes in and is destroying the environment, and it's having a negative effect and damaging the health of the residents, that this oil company is like destroying their water and their land, and it's about their fight against this American oil company and fighting back and bringing their land back to life, as well as themselves and their village back to life, I believe. And that, my friends, is my little haul. The 6 books that we picked up today. So exciting. What a cast of authors right here. I mean, I'm really happy with how things have gone here. That's the end of this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books. If you have, which one do you want me to read first? Which one are you intrigued by? What do you want me to vlog? What is a book that you've purchased for yourself recently? Or a book that you've hauled from your library, or a little free library, or a book you've been gifted? Let me know. I would love to chat with you all. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. It means the world to me. I love you all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if that's your jam, and I hope to see you in my next video. Happy reading, happy writing, and happy living. Peace out.